Hey everyone, today I will be showing you how to make this delicious loaded seafood baked potato. So let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by prepping our ingredients. Dice some celery, green bell pepper, red bell pepper, an onion, and chop some green onion. Next, peel and devein some shrimp. When you're finished, set your shrimp to the side. Next, after cleaning 3 large potatoes, cover them in olive oil. When you're finished, season them with salt. Using a fork, poke holes into your potatoes. Bake your potatoes at 400 for 1 hour. After baking your potatoes, poke them with a fork to make sure that they're done. Then, cut a thin layer off your potato lengthwise. Then scoop the insides out into a bowl. Also, be careful not to tear the shell. When you're finished, set your potato skins to the side. Next, mash the potatoes in the bowl. Then mix in 3 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cup of milk, and 3/4 cup of sour cream. Once you've mixed all that together, you're going to add 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of pepper, 3/4 cup of cheddar cheese, and a 1/2 cup of green onions. If it's hard to stir your potatoes or they don't seem creamy enough, you can go ahead and add more milk. When you're finished with your filling, set it to the side. If you haven't already done so, place your potato shells back on the baking sheet. Then place slices of provolone cheese at the bottom of your potato shells. Then add your filling. When you've added all of your filling to each potato, add shredded cheddar cheese on top. Or you can add 1 slice of provolone cheese with cheddar cheese. Then bake your potatoes at 350 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. While our potatoes are cooking in the oven, we're going to make our sauce. In a large pan over medium heat, add 5 slices of bacon. Cook your bacon until nice and crispy. When your bacon has finished cooking, add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. Use the butter to deglaze the pan. Then add your shrimp and season them. I added pepper, Old Bay, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. After you season your shrimp, sauté them for about 4 to 5 minutes or until cooked. Once your shrimp are all cooked, take them out of the pan. Then add 1/4 cup of diced onions, 1/4 cup of diced celery, and 1/4 cup of bell peppers. Cook your vegetables in the pan for about 5 minutes. Then add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Cook the garlic with the vegetables for about 30 seconds to a minute. After that, add 1/2 cup of chicken broth, and 1 cup of heavy cream. Mix everything together until well combined. Then let your sauce simmer until it becomes thick. Once your sauce has become thick, add 1/2 teaspoon of Creole seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of Old Bay, and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. Then add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Mix everything together until well combined. Next, add 1/2 cup of lump crab meat and 1/2 cup of crawfish meat. Mix the meat into the sauce and let it cook for about 5 minutes. After your crab meat and crawfish meat are cooked, your sauce is all finished. Next, take the bacon you cooked before and chop into small pieces. When you're finished, set your bacon to the side. Now that your potatoes have finished baking in the oven, you can go ahead and plate everything up. Place your baked potato on a plate. Then add your seafood sauce. the shrimp we cooked before, bacon, and your green onions. And this is the finished result. The baked potato came out great, and the sauce on top was amazing with it. Everything was just so delicious, well seasoned and flavorful. The baked potato by itself was already good. It was creamy and cheesy and delicious, but with that sauce on top, it just creates an entirely different experience. This recipe is pretty easy to make, and I totally recommend giving it a try. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hey everyone, today I'll be teaching you how to make a deshelled seafood boil. I decided to make a small seafood boil for my mom and wanted to show you guys how I made it. So let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by making our beloved sauce. Start by slicing 1 onion, one green bell pepper, and 1 red bell pepper. By the by, you can also add yellow bell peppers and orange bell peppers. In a large skillet, melt 4 sticks of butter at medium heat. Once your butter has melted, add your onions and peppers. Then add 1/3 cup of your beloved Smackalicious sauce seasoning mix. Now add 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of hot sauce, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of sweet chili sauce, 2 tablespoons of white sugar, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Mix everything together until well combined. Let it simmer on low for about 10 to 15 minutes or until your vegetables are translucent. When your sauce is done, take it off the heat and set it to the side. Make sure you thaw your seafood before you even start cooking. When your king crab has thawed, clean and wash it thoroughly. You want to make sure you get all the barnacles and dirt off of your king crab. Then, place your king crab on a tinfoil covered baking sheet. Bake your king crab in the oven at 400 degrees for about 4 to 5 minutes or until your king crab is hot. Once your king crab is finished cooking, take it out of the oven and then let it cool. When it's cool enough to touch, go ahead and break it open and take out the meat. Break each part of the king crab leg off. Then cut the side of the shell and break open the crab leg to remove the meat. Then peel the white fat off of the meat. Do the same thing with other parts of the crab leg. When you're cutting your crab leg, make sure you stay as close to the edge as possible so you don't tear or shred your crab meat. Make sure to remove any green nasty bits you see on your crab meat. When you're finished, set your king crab meat to the side. Alright, so now we're going to deshell our lobster. Cut open the bottom of your lobster. Peel back the bottom of the shell. Remove your lobster meat from the shell. Then remove the vein inside the lobster meat. Cut the top layer of the lobster open to ensure that you have removed all the veins and nasty bits. When you're finished, rinse your lobster clean and set it to the side. Now deshell and devein your shrimp. When you're finished, rinse and clean off your shrimp and set them to the side. Now we're going to prep our vegetables. Break your corn in half. Bam! You see that strength? The Hulk has nothing on me. Then rinse and clean off your corn. Once you're finished, set your corn to the side. After that, rinse and clean your potatoes. And proceed to cut them in half. When you're finished cutting your potatoes in half, set them to the side. In a large pot of water, add 1 teaspoon of liquid seafood oil, onion powder, garlic powder, Florida seafood seasoning crab and shrimp boil, and complete seasoning. Then bring your water to a boil. Cook your potatoes first. Boil your potatoes for 15 to 20 minutes. You'll know your potatoes are done if they're soft enough to pierce a fork all the way through them. When your potatoes are finished cooking, remove them from the pot and add them into a pan or bowl that you are going to use for your seafood boil. Then add your corn and sausage into the pot. Boil your corn and sausage for 5 minutes. When everything's done cooking, remove from the pot and add it to your pan. After that, boil your shrimp. The shrimp will cook really fast, so only cook it for about a minute or two. Alright, now boil your lobster. The lobster will also cook really fast. You'll know your lobster is finished cooking when it becomes firm. It shouldn't be slimy or mushy. Then boil and peel your eggs. You want to boil your eggs for at least 10 minutes. Then shock them with ice and peel your eggs. When all your ingredients are finished cooking and you've placed them inside of your pan, you can go ahead and start adding your sauce. And that's it! You are all finished with your deshelled seafood boil. Ugh, it smelled so delicious. Doesn't that image just make your mouth water? It looks so good. Oh, by the way, the reason I didn't add a lot of seafood is because I made this small seafood boil for my mom and I knew she would be eating dessert afterwards. So I decided to make the seafood boil a bit smaller than usual. Everything I used in the video will be down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make delicious seafood boil ramen, so let's get started with the video. Begin by prepping your ingredients. Chop some green onions, then dice 1 green bell pepper, 1 red bell pepper, and 1 onion. Next, slice 1 sausage, then deshell and devein some shrimp. When you have finished preparing all of your ingredients, set them to the side. Next, we're going to prepare the seasoning mix for the sauce. In a small bowl, add 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of Old Bay, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of lemon pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 1 teaspoon of parsley, and 1 teaspoon of light brown sugar. Mix everything together until well combined and then set your seasoning mix to the side. Next, we're going to make the sauce. In a saucepan over medium heat, melt 4 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter has melted, add a half a cup of diced onions, a half a cup of diced bell peppers, and 1 to 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Then saute your veggies for about 3 to 5 minutes. When you have finished cooking your veggies, add 1.5 cups of seafood stock. If you don't have seafood stock, you can always use chicken broth instead. Next, mix in your seasonings. Then add 2 tablespoons of hot sauce, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and the juice of 1 lemon. Once you finish adding all of your ingredients, let your sauce simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes. Once your sauce has finished cooking, set it to the side. Now that the sauce is finished, boil some eggs. While the eggs are boiling, we're going to cook our snow crab legs. In a large pot of water, add 1 tablespoon of vinegar and 1 tablespoon of liquid seafood oil. Adding the vinegar makes the crabs easier to pick, while adding the liquid seafood oil adds flavor. Bring the water to a boil and then cook your crab legs for 5 minutes. I'm using snow crab legs, but you can use whatever type of crab you like. Once your crab legs have finished cooking, remove them from the pot and set them to the side. Next, in a pan over medium heat, cook your sliced sausage. Once the sausage has finished cooking, remove them from the pan. Then add 1 tablespoon of butter, and while the butter is melting, deglaze the bottom of the pan. Then place your shrimp into the pan and season them. I season my shrimp with pepper, Old Bay, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. After adding your seasonings, cook your shrimp for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once your shrimp have finished cooking, set them to the side. Next, in a pot of boiling water, cook your ramen noodles for however long it says to on the package. The eggs should be finished cooking by now, so all you have to do is peel and cut them. This is optional, but I also let my eggs marinate in some of the sauce for a bit before cutting them. Now that everything has been cooked, we can now assemble our ramen. Pour your sauce in a bowl. Then add the ramen noodles. And the toppings prepared before. When I have finished adding the toppings, I sprinkle some paprika and parsley on top. And this is the finished result. This was absolutely delicious and it looks great. I saw this trending on TikTok for a while and I really wanted to give it a try, and I'm so glad I did because it turned out really good. The sauce was really good and well seasoned. I love bell peppers in my sauce, it just adds so much flavor. If you haven't had seafood boil ramen yet, I totally recommend giving it a try. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make seafood stuffed shell, so let's get started with the video. Begin by peeling and deveining about 5 to 7 large shrimp. When you're finished peeling and deveining your shrimp, you can go ahead and cook them. In a pan over medium heat, melt some butter. Once your butter has melted, add your shrimp. Then season your shrimp. I season my shrimp with pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, Old Bay, and paprika. Then cook your shrimp for about 4 to 5 minutes. When your shrimp have finished cooking, take them out of the pan. Next, in that same pan, add a half a cup of diced onions. Sauté your onions for about 4 to 5 minutes. When you're finished sautéing your onions, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Sauté the garlic and the onions for about a minute or so. Then, remove your garlic and onions from the pan and set them to the side. Next, chop up the shrimp you cooked before. When you're finished, set your shrimp to the side. Next, in a large pot of water, add salt. Then bring the water to a boil and add your jumbo pasta shells. Cook your pasta shells for however long it says to on the box. While the pasta shells are cooking, we're going to make our sauce. In a saucepan over medium heat, add olive oil. Then add a half a cup of diced onions and a half a cup of bell peppers. Sauté the onions and bell peppers for about 5 minutes. Then add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Cook everything together for about 1 to 2 minutes and then add a half a cup of chicken broth and 2 cups of heavy cream. Mix everything together and then bring your sauce to a simmer. Once your sauce is thick, add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, a half a teaspoon of Creole seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of Old Bay seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt if needed, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Mix everything together until well combined and then set your sauce to the side. Next, we're going to make our filling. In a large bowl, add 2 cups of ricotta cheese. Then add 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, 1/4 cup of mozzarella cheese, a half a cup of lump crab meat, a half a cup of crawfish meat, a half a cup of your chopped shrimp, the onions and garlic you cooked before, 1 tablespoon of parsley, half a teaspoon of seasoned salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, and 1 egg. Once you've added all your ingredients, fold everything together until well combined. When you're finished, add your ricotta mixture into a piping bag or a Ziploc bag. This will make it easier to add your filling inside your pasta shells. If you don't have a piping bag or a Ziploc bag, then you can just add the filling with a spoon. Next, in a baking dish, add a layer of your sauce. Then fill your jumbo pasta shells with the ricotta mixture and place them into the baking dish. When you're finished, pour the rest of your sauce on top of your pasta. Then add some Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese on top. Next, cover your baking dish in tin foil and place it in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, remove the foil and then place your pasta back into the oven on broil and cook it for about 2 to 5 minutes, just long enough to melt the cheese and brown the top a bit. Sprinkle some parsley on top and you are all finished. And this is the finished result. This came out great and it tasted really good. The pasta was creamy, cheesy, and delicious. And it looks absolutely amazing. Stuffed shells are one of my favorite pasta dishes, so I hope you enjoy this seafood version like I did. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'll be teaching you how to make these delicious fried seafood deviled eggs. These tasted great and they were easy to make, so let's get started with the video. Begin by chopping some fresh chives and then set them to the side to use later. Next, in a large pot of water, add 1 tablespoon of vinegar and 1 tablespoon of liquid seafood oil. The vinegar helps you pick the crabs and the liquid seafood oil adds flavor. Bring the water to a boil and then cook 2 snow crab legs for about 5 minutes. When you finish cooking your snow crab legs, remove the meat from the crabs. When you're finished, set your crab meat to the side. Next, peel and devein some shrimp. When you're finished, add some butter to a pan over medium heat. Once the butter has melted, add your shrimp. Then add your seasonings. The seasonings I added were pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, Old Bay, and paprika. Then proceed to saute your shrimp for about 4 to 5 minutes. When you finish cooking your shrimp, chop them into tiny pieces. Then set your shrimp to the side. Boil 6 eggs for 10 to 12 minutes. When your eggs have finished cooking, place them in an ice bath and then remove the shell from the eggs. And this is me trying out a trick I saw on TikTok where you use the spoon to remove the shell, but I couldn't do it as smoothly as the lady in the video. Next, cut your eggs in half and remove the yolk. Now mash the egg yolks with a fork. Next, add 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 1 to 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of relish, and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Mix that all together and then add 1/4 teaspoon of Old Bay hot sauce, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of your crab meat, and 2 tablespoons of your chopped shrimp. Then mix everything until well combined. When you're finished, set your mixture to the side. Next, in a bowl, beat 2 eggs, then in another bowl add panko breadcrumbs, and in one final bowl add flour. Now coat your egg whites in the flour, eggs, and panko. Then just repeat this process with the rest of your eggs. When you're finished, you can begin frying them. Fry your eggs for about 2 to 3 minutes or until golden brown. When your eggs have finished cooking, place them on a wire rack or a paper towel covered plate. Next, add your egg yolk mixture into a piping bag. Then pipe the mixture onto your eggs. After you've done that, add some snow crab meat on top, some chives, and a bit of paprika. Then repeat this process with the rest of your eggs. And this is the finished result. These came out beautifully, they tasted great, and they look awesome. I think these would make a great appetizer for like a barbecue or a get-together. Frying them gave them a nice crunch, but this is also optional, you don't have to fry them, mainly because the recipe still works whether you fry them or not. And the fresh chives on top made it even better. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious seafood lasagna, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by preparing the ingredients. Dice 1 green bell pepper, 1 red bell pepper, and 1 onion. Next, peel and devein 16 large shrimp. After you've peeled and deveined your shrimp, rinse them under cold water to make sure that they're completely clean. Then, cut the shrimp into small pieces. When you're finished, set your ingredients to the side. Next, in a large bowl, add 16 ounces of ricotta cheese, 1 egg, a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and 1 tablespoon of parsley. Then mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished, set your ricotta cheese mixture to the side. Next, we're going to make the seafood mixture. In a large pan over medium heat, add some olive oil and about 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter is melted, add the shrimp you prepared before. Then lightly season the shrimp with Creole seasoning and paprika. You don't need to go too heavy on the seasonings because we will be seasoning the shrimp again later. Then saute the shrimp for around 3 minutes or until it is almost completely cooked. The reason why we're not completely cooking the shrimp is because it's going to continue to cook it in the oven when we bake the lasagna. Once you have finished sauteing the shrimp, turn off the heat and take them out of the pan. Next, in a large bowl, add the shrimp, 16 ounces of crawfish meat, and 16 ounces of lump crab meat. Then add a 1/2 teaspoon of Old Bay, a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Then mix everything together until well combined. When you're finished, set your seafood mixture to the side. Next, in a pot full of water, add salt. Bring the water to a boil and then add a 1/2 pound of lasagna noodles. Cook the noodles for 10 minutes. While the lasagna noodles are cooking, we're going to make the sauce. Over medium heat, melt 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter in the same pan you cooked the shrimp. Once the butter is melted, add a 1/2 cup of diced onions and a 1/2 cup of diced bell peppers. Sauté the onions and bell peppers for 3 minutes. After the 3 minutes are up, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Then saute the garlic with the bell peppers and onions for about 1 minute. Next, add a half a cup of chicken broth and 2.5 cups of heavy cream. Mix everything together until well combined and then bring your mixture to a simmer. Continue to cook the sauce until it starts to become thick. Once the sauce starts to become thick, gradually mix in 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese. Once the Parmesan cheese has melted and mixed into the sauce, lower the heat and then add a half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of Old Bay. Mix the seasonings into the sauce and then add 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Once you have finished making the sauce, you can begin assembling your lasagna. First, grease a baking dish with olive oil or non-stick spray. Next, add a thin layer of sauce to the bottom of the pan. When you're finished, add a layer of lasagna noodles. Then add a layer of ricotta using half of the ricotta mixture. Next, add a layer of seafood using half of the seafood mixture. After you finish adding the seafood, add a layer of sauce using half of the sauce. Make sure to spread the sauce out evenly. Then add a layer of shredded mozzarella cheese. Next, repeat the same layers as before. So, add another layer of lasagna noodles, another layer of ricotta using the rest of the ricotta mixture, another layer of seafood using the rest of the seafood mixture, another layer of sauce using the rest of the sauce, and last but not least, a layer of mozzarella cheese on top. Once you have finished assembling your lasagna, place it into the oven at 375 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. Let the lasagna rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, sprinkle some parsley on top, and then you are all finished. And this is the finished result. This lasagna was absolutely delicious. It was creamy, cheesy, and there was a piece of seafood in every bite. The lasagna was also rich and packed full of flavor. If you love seafood and lasagna, this recipe is perfect for you. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Hey everyone, today I'll be teaching you how to make this delicious seafood gumbo. This was my first time making it, so I really hope you guys enjoy the video. So, let's get started. We're going to begin by prepping our ingredients. Dice 1 onion, 2 pieces of celery, and green onions. Then slice some andouille sausage. And peel and devein some shrimp. Make sure to keep your shrimp shells, we're going to use those for later. When you're finished prepping all your ingredients for your gumbo, set them to the side. Now we're going to prep our ingredients for our seafood stock. Cut up 1 onion. 1 tomato. 1 green bell pepper. 3 pieces of celery. Now in a large pot over medium heat, add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then add all of your vegetables. Sauté your vegetables for about 4 to 5 minutes. After that, add your shrimp shells from before. Let that cook for about 1 to 2 minutes, or until your shrimp shells have turned pink. Once everything is cooked, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, or 3 to 4 garlic cloves. Then add 4 quarts of water. A half a cup of white wine. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. 1 teaspoon of pepper. 1 teaspoon of complete seasoning. 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. Some fresh parsley. And any leftover seafood shells you might have. I added lobster shells and king crab shells to mine. Oh, and 2 bay leaves. Now let that simmer over low heat for 2 to 3 hours. This is totally optional, you don't have to make your own seafood stock. If you want, you can just use chicken broth. Once your stock has finished cooking, go ahead and strain it. Then set your stock to the side. In a large pot over medium heat, cook your andouille sausages. When your sausages have finished cooking, take them out of the pan. Then, while the pot is still hot, add 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. Then heat your oil up over medium heat. Before adding your flour, make sure your oil is hot enough. You can test this by sprinkling some flour into your oil, and if it sizzles, it's ready. Then gradually add 1 cup of flour while whisking. Right now we're making our roux. I made mine thicker since I won't be adding any okra. Okra is usually used as a thickening agent, but if you do want to add okra to your gumbo, you're going to want to add 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of vegetable oil to your roux so it's thinner. Continue to cook your roux for about 20 to 30 minutes, or until your roux is the color of chocolate. It also depends on how dark you want your roux to be. I cooked mine for 20 minutes, but if you want yours to be darker, you could cook it for 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Just make sure you're constantly whisking your roux and make sure you don't burn it. While you're cooking your roux, you'll gradually see it become darker. After 20 minutes, my roux was the color of milk chocolate. Now that your roux is finished cooking, add 1 cup of your diced onions. Then add your celery. And finally, add 1 cup of bell peppers. Now you're going to let that cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. You can't make gumbo without the holy trinity: onions, celery, and bell peppers. Or at least that's what I heard. When you finish cooking your vegetables, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Let that cook for 1 minute and then add your sausages. Then add 1 can of diced tomatoes. So about 14 to 16 ounces of diced tomatoes. So when I was doing my research on gumbo, I learned that adding tomatoes is usually done in Creole gumbo, but not usually done in New Orleans style gumbo. So adding tomatoes is totally optional. I decided to add tomatoes because I really like tomatoes. Now add 2 to 3 quarts of your stock. And this is very important. Make sure your stock is hot before you add it in your pan. Make sure your pan is also hot. Make sure both the pan and the stock is hot. But not like boiling hot, you know what I mean? Just hot enough. By the way, if you don't want your gumbo to be that thick, you can always add more stock. Now stir everything together. Now add 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 bay leaves, I added a bit more Worcestershire sauce, and 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. Mix everything together, then cover with a lid and let it simmer for about an hour or an hour and a half. After letting your gumbo simmer, add 1 cup of lump crab and your shrimp. Let that cook for about 5 to 7 minutes or until the shrimp has completely cooked. When your shrimp is finished cooking, reduce your heat. Once your shrimp is cooked, go ahead and taste your gumbo and add any additional seasonings that you think you might need. I added 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar, 1 to 2 teaspoons of Creole seasoning, some more onion powder, a half a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, and a little bit of liquid seafood oil. After you've added your desired seasonings, add a half a cup of green onions. Don't forget to remove your bay leaves as well. And that's it, you've finished making your gumbo. If you want, you could also add some crab legs or some crawfish in your gumbo. Now that you've finished making your gumbo, it's time to plate it up. Add some rice in the middle of your plate or bowl, then add your gumbo around it. This is optional, but you could add any additional seafood that you want. I added some crab legs, some lobster claws, and some crawfish. Top it with some green onions and you are all finished. And this is the finished result. It tasted really good and it came out better than I expected. I've wanted to make gumbo ever since I watched Princess and the Frog when I was a kid, so I'm really happy I got the opportunity to make it. Since this was my first time making gumbo, I made a bunch of mistakes. I will show you the mistakes that I made in the outtakes because I want you to avoid the mistakes I made if you can. Also, if you've made gumbo before, I would really appreciate any tips or advice that you might have. But for my first time making gumbo, I don't think I did that badly because Mom had like 5 plates of it and my dad had 2 plates of it. It tasted really good, it smelled delicious, it was very flavorful, so I'm really happy with the outcome. I know that everybody makes their gumbo differently, so this was just my version of gumbo. I hope to improve my skills as time goes on, and I hope I can improve when I make it again. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in this video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! Alright, so now we're going to talk about the mistakes I've made and the things I learned. If the oil you're using for your roux isn't hot, your roux is going to be ruined. Make sure your oil is hot before adding any flour. You have to constantly stir your roux or it will burn. Constantly. I used a whisk, but you can always use a wooden spoon. If you start to see dark specks in your roux, it's most likely burnt, and you have to start all over again. If you accidentally burn your roux and you didn't notice until after you've added your stock and your gumbo has a burnt taste to it, add half a raw potato into your gumbo and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. The potato will absorb the burnt taste. After you remove the potato, your gumbo should be fine. Make sure your mixture and your stock are hot before adding your stock because this will happen. If your pot isn't warm, or your stock is too cold or isn't warm enough, it'll cause the stock and the roux to separate once they meet, resulting in this, which is super unappealing and just looks nasty. I hope this helps and you guys learn from my mistakes. Hey everyone, today we will be making seafood pineapple fried rice. It's super delicious and the pineapples complement the fried rice perfectly. I can't wait to show you guys how to make it, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by prepping our ingredients. First, we're going to chop a carrot. Chop the top off of the carrot. Then cut it in half. Cut off the skin of the carrot while also squaring it off. After that, cut your carrot in thirds, and then cut your carrot slices into thirds as well. Once you've done that, you've basically created carrot sticks. So gather your carrot sticks and then just start dicing them. Then just repeat this process with the other half of the carrot. When you're finished, set your carrots to the side. After that, cut up some broccoli, and some green onions. Alright, so now we're going to prepare our pineapple. Cut your pineapple in half. Cut the inside of the pineapple, creating a grid. Using a spoon, scoop out your pineapple cubes. Once you finish removing the pineapple cubes, clean out the rest of the pineapple. After that, cut up your pineapple cubes into smaller pieces. Make sure you remove the core. The core is that really hard part of the pineapple. When you're finished cutting up your pineapples, set them to the side. Next, devein and deshell some shrimp. When you're finished, set your shrimp to the side. After that, clean your king crab and then place it on a tinfoil covered baking sheet. Place it in the oven at 400 degrees for 5 to 6 minutes or until it is hot. Let it cool enough to touch and then break it apart. Cut the shell of the crab leg open and then remove the meat. When you're finished, set your king crab meat to the side. Now we're going to cook our rice. Add 2 cups of rice in a rice cooker. Then clean your rice. Place it in the rice cooker and then add 3 cups of water. After that, simply cook your rice until it is ready. Next, in a small bowl, add 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and 1/2 cup of soy sauce. Mix everything together until well combined. Then set it to the side. In another small bowl, add 2 eggs. I would suggest whisking 3 eggs. I feel like there wasn't enough eggs in the fried rice. Then start beating your eggs. When you're finished, set your eggs to the side. In a wok over medium heat, add oil. I added sesame oil. Then add your shrimp. Then add your seasonings. I added pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, Creole seasoning, and paprika. Cook your shrimp for about 4 to 6 minutes. Then remove them from the pan. After that, cook your eggs. The eggs are going to be seasoned by the leftover seasonings from the shrimp. Then remove the eggs from the pan. Also, I realized the wok I was using was not non-stick, so I had to use another one. Add 2 tablespoons of sesame oil in the pan. Then add 1/4 cup of diced onions and 1/4 cup of diced bell peppers. Sauté them over medium heat. Then add some pepper and 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. After that, add your chopped broccoli and your diced carrots. Cook your vegetables for 2 to 3 more minutes. After that, add your rice. By the way, I didn't use all of my rice. I think I only used about 1 1/2 cup or 1 3/4 cup of the rice. Then add your soy sauce mixture. After that, add 2/3 cup of your diced pineapple. And finally, your shrimp and eggs. And that's it, you are all finished with your pineapple fried rice. Now all that's left is to plate it up. Add your fried rice in your hollowed out pineapples. Add your king crab and green onions on top and you are all finished. I also added some more broccoli, pineapples, and shrimp on top for decoration. Oh, and I also added these nifty snow crab claws on top. The fried rice came out beautifully. I am so happy it came out well. The pineapple tasted great with the fried rice, like seriously. The dish itself is really colorful, which I like. I had so much fun making this. I especially liked putting the food inside of a pineapple just because I think it looks really cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everything I used in the video will be down in the description below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye! But the meat fell out like a crab.
It's falling out?
Yeah.
Where?
See? It fell out of the crab.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna eat it.
No, you ain't gonna eat the meat now.
I am. It fell out. It's useless now.
What do you mean useless?
You can't eat it. It fell
You can't
out.
lay that on top of the rice?
No, I have to eat it.
There's something wrong with you.
See how bad that is?
Ain't nothing wrong there. You just stick it right back in the claw.
What do you mean? Which claw does it even go into? Which claw does it go into?
Oh, just lay it on the rice.
Oh, it's
I'ma
just
eat
an
it.
extra piece of meat. Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna eat
it's
that.
probably bad. I'll have to eat it.
I know you lying.
I'm trying to save your life.
You ain't gotta save mine. Not when it comes to snow crab. You can give me meat. Then leave it alone, let it cook.
Okay.
And you better not put this in the video either.
Now I'm gonna put it in the bloopers.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Kiana. Because they already gonna say, why are you even in the kitchen with her?
Yeah, why are you in